Doesn't even realize it. And when he does realize it, it's too late. It already happened. So this is a great way of entering a zombie apocalypse. And like, okay, well, I'm going to discover the character again. But also, it is actually a really cool thing because this is a showcase of Japan. I think it's Japan. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if it's not. If it is, I fucking knew it, bro. If it isn't, I'm sorry. So then, what ended up happening is they go to Japan and they show the laws, like overworked, there's no break, they're taking advantage of you. You're working in a cubicle, and that's your whole world. From 9 to 9, you're working in a cubicle and better not complain. So this is actually really cool. And what I like the most is Akira. He's shown in the beginning. I'm gonna tell you, this is possibly the best anime that I've watched 2025, 2024. To be honest, to be completely honest, I love it. So they show some very cool scene. For example, we show a young Akira that is hopeful. It's like, you know what? I absolutely love this company. I love my job. I love the company. I want to work here. Now then, what happened is you realize the company is not good, and you kind of stuck there, right? And the first thing that you see is how sad he is, and you see the bosses and how nice they are to him, and then really soon you got the whole thing that is kind of shitty. You fall in love with a girl. The girl is also getting abused because the boss is like, hey, guess what? You're mine. You're mine. You don't have a choice. But it's actually really cool because in the beginning you actually see that the character is actually a cool guy and he has his dream, and then you realize that no, this is not a dream, this is a fucking nightmare, right? And then when the zombie apocalypse starts, the first thing that he has to say, right, is that's the craziest thing. That's the craziest thing. Look how nicely it's done. You see the people how tired they are, but you also see them sleeping beneath their desk, sorry. It's actually super cool. You see the boss, right, which is kind of like a shitty person, and this is gonna be an important character. You see the people on caffeine and they're smoking, very unhealthy, very unhealthy. They're killing themselves at work. It's just a super shitty thing. So he goes home, and then you see that there's a fucking zombie, right? And what is kind of nice is you literally see him lose his mind. You see this? He's drawing like nonsense. He's losing his fucking mind. So the zombie apocalypse actually is a day of freedom for him. So it's like, holy shit, this is great. I don't have to go to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to fucking work. You know? And this is kind of cool because we see zombies. And this is your very first sight of zombies. Now, Zom 100 does something very special. They do zombies, they do it creepy, but then they do it with color. So instead of, look at this, gory. And the color change. Now, what I think personally is the zombies are fucking gory. I think we're seeing the reality through Akira, which is the main character's eyes. So because you see them that way, we see them that way. And we basically don't see them in any other ways. So this is kind of cool. Then he runs away. He makes it home. He makes it to a safe place. He's safe, and he says, "You know what? I'm actually good." And the first thing that he does, and this is a powerful scene, goes to the roof, and he celebrates. He celebrates being happy. And you see the zombie in the background. So like, okay, guess what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start doing what I want. The first thing he wants to do is buy beer, drink beer, and do whatever he needs to do. So this is actually really fucking cool. The first thing that he does, which is kind of a badass moment, is he goes to his boss and he quits. Now you see is the girl that he liked, which is the boss side bitch, and he sees her turning into a zombie. The first thing that he does, which is kind of cool, and this is really well made. The boss is an asshole. He doesn't mind killing him. The girl, he likes her, and that's when he's not able to kill her, which shows that Zom, the thing that he does the best. And again, I'm gonna be such an asshole for saying that. And I hope I'm not bothering anybody by saying that, but the thing that Zom does the best is taking tropes and knowledge we have about zombies. Zom 100 is not original. It's just one of the other zombie show. However, the way he does it is actually quite interesting. The way he does it, the way he portray the character, the way they portray the zombies is really cool. And then you can make an anime out of that. The first anime that I saw like that was High School of the Dead, which was good, but not great. Zom is better. Zom is way better. And it does things in a very similar way to a lot of the zombie shows. However, it does its things in its own. For example, the guy is hopeful. The guy has a shitty life. Now, what's important because it shows just an underbelly, which is the horrible work law. So what he does is he says like, yo, I'm gonna start making then he starts drinking beer and day drinking, and he's fucking happy. The first episode ends with him making the lists. Now, the second episode is one of my favorites, which is super nice. Look at this with the dead. He works on the list and what he wants to do, right? And then the first thing, he's so fucking happy because he doesn't have to go to work, which is kind of sad because at the same time it's how much he hated that job. And I think one of the worst thing that he does is he's trapped and he doesn't know what to do, right? And then his best friend, which is a spoiler, his best friend tells him, oh, I got this amazing job and I love this job and I love this job and I love this job. So then the main character, which is Akira, he's like, holy shit, I have a shitty job. But then the other guy also have a shitty job, so it's a lie. Why is that important? Well, because Akira believes that his job is shitty because other people have a better job. That's the only reason why. He feels really good. You see the life, you see how much zombie are destroying everything. At the same time, there's a really cool feeling, and it's a really shitty feeling, it's a really cool feeling at the same time. Akira sees people suffering, and he sees that the zombies are taking over. And he's like, dude, I don't have to worry about it. I actually don't have to worry about shit. I know the situation is bad, but here I am, I'm safe. Here I am, I can actually do anything that I want, and anything that I need to, which is great. You know? So, in his whole nightmare, he's pretty good. We're seeing the fridge, and he's seeing that it's empty. It's like, oh shit, I have to do a beer run. Which is kind of cool. Now, one of the coolest things that he does is he leaves, and he sees a neighbor. And this is actually a quite important scene. So the neighbors at their door, there's a lot of zombies. There's a shit ton of zombies, and they're afraid. So this is to portray how people react. Akira is euphoric because he had a chance at life. He had a chance at freedom. Most people don't have that. And even if they did, they don't think that's like, oh shit, the world's going to end, right? So he goes down and see the neighbors and they're afraid. And then the neighbors tell him, hey yo, come with us, we'll keep you safe. And it's like, nah, I got shit to do, I got a bucket list. Now, the cool thing with this scene is later on, the neighbor gets eaten. So it's kind of implied that if he went with them, he would have been eaten. Now, there's a much more important scene than that. So the neighbors are super important. The neighbor could have saved Akira, however, they got killed themselves. They would have killed them. We meet another character, which is super important. She's part of the party, she's one of the most important member. Out of the first season, there's 4 characters that we like. I don't know their name, I'm sorry. Because I watched the show today, so it's pretty new to me. When I said I watched it the first time, I did watch it the first time, and I stopped after episode 7 or 8. So yeah, so she comes in and she says, bro, you're fucking stupid. You're risking your life for toilet paper. And the worst thing is, toilet paper that you bought is for the neighbor. Like, you're fucking dumb. So she tells them, you're not gonna survive. And then you go back to the neighbors and they're killed. So this is to show him, yo, you're dealing with death. Which is actually kind of cool. See, Akira, because he's working a lot, doesn't really know people, doesn't really have friends. And because he doesn't really have friends, he doesn't really care if he dies. When people dies. I know it's horrible to say, but still. Now we're seeing something that is really cool. We're seeing a bicycle with a camera. Now the reason why this is important is because it's the survivor camera. So she's super fucking important. Look at her. Super important. Super important because she's already here and she's a survivor. Now her character is actually quite nice. Her character is spoiler. She's the daughter of a dude that was super abusive and wanted her to make them destroy them in the same way. This is not that he did. So he's super abusive, which kind of sucks. Then she meets him. She's like, yo, she's kind of cute. Let me get your number. And it's like, you're fucking stupid. I know. I'm gonna get your number. You're gonna die, right? That's one good song. I didn't think about it. Then, Akira, our main character, it's like, yo, I haven't chilled with people. I have this one friend named Kensho, and I want to see him again. The way it started is actually really cool. We're seeing the elites, so we're seeing people that are super powerful in the city, and they take care of the city, right? And then what we're doing is we're seeing the rebellion, right? We're seeing the rebellion and how people are like, yo, guess what? We want to fight. There is a very very wrong thing with that. The very wrong thing with that is that what I was supposed to have. Is it going right now? On right now? Is it before Akira starts its journey begin? It's a bit of a problem now. We have people from the club and they resist. It's kind of cool because we're seeing people actually resist the war, which is not something that we see often. Now the funny thing with that is everybody loses. Everybody gets killed except for one person. It's one person that we don't know how it's gonna happen with. I haven't seen him again. I haven't seen them again. The Akira comes in and it's like, holy shit, this place is a mess. Now we're confirming that this is Shibuya. So if you played Person 9, you know that Shibuya is Tokyo. We have him growing a beard, which is again him being young, which is cool. But the beard doesn't grow, so he draws in a mustache. The cool thing with that is, for the beard, there's a couple of ways to see it. The first way to see it is the fact that he's bored. He's looking for activity to do, which is kind of normal. The second way you can see it is, well, guess what? The epoch is actually pretty boring, but there's not a lot to do. Like, you're gonna have priority things to do, but you also wanna have fun. For him, growing a beard is fun. So you're gonna go take a shower, and then his phone is gonna ring, and for some reason the internet is back on. You receive message, and you receive message that they haven't opened for years. But the message is Kensho. He said, "Oh, I miss Kensho." I'm gonna talk to Kensho, and Kensho's like, "Yo, I'm alive. I'm there." And then Akira's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come and get you." No, don't come here. It's dangerous here. The cool thing with Akira is, in the first one, we saw him, and it was fucking funny because he's the guy who gives shit to Akira to say, "Hey, guess what? My job is amazing. Your job sucks, right?" And Akira was like, "Fuck you, dude. I hate you." But actually, Kensho's a good guy, even though he lied about his job, and he's like, "No, my job sucks. I just wanted to make myself look interesting." Kensho has money. He ends up into a whorehouse, and the whorehouse is like, yo, he's in the bondage room, so there's something which he's attached. And then he's like, we're seeing the part where he's bragging about his job, he's bragging about his life, and about his girlfriend. Akira gets mad at him, and Akira's like, "You feel bad about it? Like, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. He's gonna save you." And it's kind of cool because Akira goes to save his friend. Now, ultimately speaking, it's also a very powerful trope because with his friend with Akira, this is actually a really important moment. So this is Akira. We don't know how many friends he has. His best friend is Kensho. He says Kensho, which is good. We don't need to know that he has a amount of friends. We don't need to know that these guys are important for him. He has parents that are alive, and he has Kensho. Also, Akira's first kind of leadership role is he used to play rugby together, him and Kensho, and he used to have Kensho, and that kind of pushed Kensho to want to become a comedian, right? So that's Akira influence on the world. Because see a lot of heroes from mangas, and this is what they do is how they influence others. It is super important. Fun fact, I just finished watching My Hero Academia, and the biggest flex of Midoriya Izuku is that he influenced people that are stronger than him into fighting, right? So then you're seeing the whole thing and it gets you in a bad position. I don't know what to do. So Akira, what he does is actually kind of super cool. He goes in with a car. So the car, and this is kind of fun because I love Sum 100. I love 100. What a great show. You see, the girl that we saw in the last episode, right? We know that she watched a lot of some movie. The car horn was off her, right? So he just copies her, and he moves the car horn, and everybody leaves. Now, doing this, you save another person. The person is at least from the beginning. We don't know how it's gonna play out, but still. I think they're preparing something. They're preparing something like, for example, this guy is very influential. He's gonna have his own journey for the good, which is all thanks to Akira. So they go for jump from building, and they jump. The building to save themselves. Because the zombie cannot jump, and Akira jump, and he's telling Ketchu jump. He's like, "No, I can't jump. I'm an asshole. I'm a loser. I told you my job is this." And then Akira said, "What you wanna do? I wanna become a comedian." So he said, "Jump and make me laugh." So Kensho gets naked, which is for him funny. He said didn't succeed, they jump, they party, and they have some beer. It's actually a really wholesome moment. See, I'm gonna get some hate for that, but Akira and Keiichi have a lot of pro moments, which is kind of cool because we like the pro moments. But the addition of the two girls, Shizuku and I don't remember her last name, they are a great ally. So now we have Akira, right? We're getting the list, which is super cool. They're chilling on a roof. The roofs are the best. They're the easiest to protect. They're the best. But they're also the hardest to leave. So then they kind of go on a motorcycle. They'll leave, which is kind of boring, but they just leave. Now, why is it boring? Because the activity speaking is going very fast. It's a bit of a slower. Now, ultimately speaking, there's a narrative aspect to it, which is kind of interesting. Are they slower because Keiichi is slowing them down? Is it because Keiichi is slowing down, or is it because they need to chill? Right? Now, there's another person driving, which is kind of fucking cool because it's a zombie, and now he's faced with a situation of, see, that's nice because, and season 1, episode 3, episode 4, which was Flight Attendant of the Dead, he goes to the city, and he finds that solution is Hannah Dyer, and he's like, okay, well, there has to be a survivor in the city. The city is huge, right? So he doesn't know where to go, and you see that half have been blocked out by zombies. So then it's the first time where I don't know what to do, but I have to figure out something. So you're gonna see Akira being kind of smart. What he does is he wants to buy a house in an elementary store, which is filled with people surviving. And I think it's funny because they're flight attendants. So this is again with the Japanese culture. So the Japanese culture apparently, flight attendants are like models or like shit like that. So they really want to go. Now it's kind of cool because Akira wanted a girlfriend. This starts with Kensho being very popular with the girls, Akira being not being, and Akira's like, oh, I'm gonna make a girlfriend. And this slowly makes a girlfriend. So we have the flight attendant, and at the same time, what happened is, attendants, one of them is bitten. So she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna transform. I am gonna transform. Which is nuts because everybody gets transformed. Kensho actually managed to have sex, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, it kind of sucks because this is, how can I say that? This is picture perfect. You want the character to be happy. When you meet a potential girlfriend, like, holy shit, like, right? And then, it's gone on 100. I don't know if it's intentional. I just think that's very smart. So, intentionally, if they did that, it was very smart. Otherwise, it's just lucky. Because you're so used to them doing something that is very unoriginal and very zombie-ish. You don't know what they're gonna do. Are they gonna do that? We find a girl that we like, or they're gonna find the fact that, well, one of them was bitten, and she knew she was bitten, but she hid with the others, because she was selfish. You know? And this would happen. Give me a sec. Blowing nose. They're just talking. And it's kind of cool because Akira's like, yo, I have a girlfriend. Now, the most important part here is Akira, now, he doesn't have a job for a couple of episodes, and then talk about his past and how much he hated it. And it's funny because he talks about his girlfriend, right? He talks about his girlfriend. The air flight attendant, she said, was herself. Like, there's no hope for me to survive. There's just no hope. And it's like, okay, well, I'm off, and the attendants are gonna move on. But at the same time, the flight attendant, before she expressed herself, she said, I had a dream. And the zombie apocalypse is destroying us. So then, this is important because what I didn't express yesterday that I should have expressed is the fact that Akira's list isn't full. It's not completed. So, during the show, he has it all. Right? We got Evil of the Dead episode 5, one of my favorite episodes. We're seeing Akira being younger and being strong and having to protect people. But then he's not strong physically, he's strong mentally. Right? So then Akira's like, yo, I could have saved those attendant if I knew. Right? I want to save people. That's my dream. So the problem with Akira is another normal problem. The problem is his motivation is a list of 100, right? if he survive like a year, he can easily do 100 things. Zombies, right? And you catch a cold and you're fucked. Right? So this is actually quite important. We have the girl, which is Shizuka, and she's chilling with the what you call it? She's chilling with the survivor, and she is in the aquarium. The aquarium is actually super important because it's a source of food in the city. I know it's hard to say, but you can kill the shark, you can kill the fish. It's now what happened is the aquarium is full of zombies, and this is kind of complex because this is the very first time that something happened. So, for example, Akira saved a girl in the beginning of the episode, right? And he leads her to danger. He leads her to literally being bitten because he didn't know. But then at the same time, he did something that the other girl couldn't. So the second girl, which is Shizuka, which we saw in episode 1 and 2, which is the survivalist, she's the expert survivalist, saw the girl and didn't save her. She could have saved her. But then she was like, well, this is a fucking dumbass, but he saved her. And didn't actually put her in danger because of him, she got bitten. It's not because of him. It's because of the place that he chose to bring her in. And then she got bitten, right? Well, I forgot to check out the guild. They were supposed to say something. Okay. I think we should do like we have done so far, not taking away for 7 days. So my friend, okay, yeah, it's better to keep someone who has been since the start. So my friend, some fun, wants to join, but there's no rush for now, so we can wait before after too soon. Oh, that's nice, dude. That's nice. That is super nice. That is super nice. That's super nice. Okay, that's good. There's no drama. Nice. Drama solved. So we had very quickly, we had a guy that said my friend wants to join. I'm like, oh fuck, we're full. Cool, you can kick someone. And I was like, I don't feel good kicking someone. But then he's like, understand, found another active guild. So if there's just free spots, I can guarantee that there is. And you're gonna go. So, and it's super cool. So, Shibuya, or whatever her name is. What's her name? I don't know. I don't know her name. I did it yesterday. I don't know. Okay. What's her name? No. She's like, yo. And then the funny thing is, some part of her, because again, it's in her backstory though. So her backstory is her father was really strict with her. Really strict. And then she had a dog and she wants to save the dog, which made her want to become a doctor. So then she sees the girl and she wants to save her. She's like, Akira, it's too dangerous. So she's like, yo, I can save him, but I can't save her. And then Akira goes in and is like, yo, I'm going to protect you. And she's like, you're so fucking stupid. You're putting your life away from a stranger. It's like, yeah, but my life is worth more than somebody else. I'll save her. And then he makes her realize that she's been selfish. And there's no point of living if you're selfish. That's super important. And then he motivates her into kind of judging her way. But the biggest thing is Akira is very, very much weaker than it's so funny. Akira is weaker than her. But then a shark turns into a zombie. The fish become zombies. And then on the phone he finds a weak spot of a shark. They want to defeat the shark, and because he's able to defeat the shark, then he inspires everybody. He is able to defend everybody, which is fucking cool. So then she's like, okay, well, I'll join you guys, because this is a great way to protect herself. So she doesn't really, she doesn't, it's kind of complex. She doesn't really follow, but there's evolution. So the evolution here is actually quite important. So the first thing that she does is, you're a dumbass, you're gonna die. I think she does like, oh no, you're actually pretty cool and I hope you don't die, right? And they meet a second time. And then, it's funny because in this episode, the main character is like, I need to get a girlfriend. And then you see her and she's actually really wholesome, she's actually really cool. If you had her as a girlfriend, you could be happy. Which is kind of sweet to see. Episode number 6, Bucket List of the Dead. Arvy of the Dead. So they know, they're like, yo, I'm gonna stay here. I don't know what we're gonna do, I can stay here. And then when Akira Tendo see that all of the people are dead, it's like, I should see my family. So the city are not a safe place, but maybe a small town could be a safe place. Now, luckily enough, his parents live in a small town, which is self-sustainable. He gets right out of the farm, he gets right out of everything, right? And this is actually wholesome because this would be a chance for him to see his parents, but for a chance for him to survive. Then, of course, this is kind of cool because they're going to see watches and they're going with the price. So this is kind of cool because they're living life a little bit. So, why is it important? Is because he's like, well, guess what? I can actually live a little bit. I can actually live above my means. I can actually, like, this is a realization that society isn't anymore, right? Decide to travel lightly, and then, like, you know what would be cool? A RV. You go to buy an RV, and guess what? The girl is there. I get her right away, he loves her. And he's like, yo, okay, it's a fate that we met up. Like, no, I'm not here for you guys, I'm here for an RV. Now, the funny thing is, she's dead set against not joining them. She likes Akira, but she doesn't think... She likes Akira and she respects him. She possibly would try to save him as much as possible. At the same time, she knows this guy is not going to make it. Or at the same time, there's this really cool scene with Akira, with her. And she said, I don't know how this guy survived. And again, I think the evolution is actually quite nice. And at first, she's like, you're a dumbass. You're buying beers, you're buying toilet paper, you're a dumbass. And then you just save people, and it's like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. Now, go to the to buy an RV, right? And then they argue about which RV to take. And she's like, oh, this is the best choice. I'm like, no, this is the best choice. Which is a really fucking sweet scene. Now, this is where the writing gets interesting. We just saw them buy a luxurious watch, which implied the luxurious thing. When it comes to RV, they possibly won't take the one that's the most efficient. They'll be the one that going to cause the most, you know? And then the zombie attacks, so then she has to train him. She goes to the RV. They have this small talk, which is super, super cool. Super, super cool. Now, there is a really fucked up thing that happened. There's a really fucked up thing that happened. She's actually super cool. They get really lucky. Because Tencho, because there's no room to get, okay, it's complex. So Tencho and Akira used to use a motorcycle. Because it's better to this is what the bad guy does. One of the bad guys. And then the funny thing is, morally speaking, he does something that's really bad. He's using zombie to push, which is using the zombie as a workforce. So then it's morally questionable. So then we got Jokes About the Dead. And then Tendo was like, okay, well, something is really bad here. And we see more, and this is kind of cool. This is actually a really cool thing to do. We take her, right? I think her name is Shibuya. I don't fucking know her name. Shibuka. I don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. And Shibuka, since it's a chocolate, and since narratively speaking, that's interesting. It's just about fixing fences and discovering what's wrong with society. It's like Walking Dead with Woodbury. We get some backstory on her. Now, overly speaking, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to complain a little bit. We don't get a lot of backstories on Tencho. Tencho was there since day one, so I think that's kind of weird. We get a lot of backstory on her, but then, technically speaking, when you look at the anime in general, the most important part, the best friend that's there, or the girlfriend. And a lot of times it's the girlfriend. It is the girlfriend. They can show like Bleach. How much do we know about Ishida? How much do we know about Shan? They can show like One Piece. How much do we know about Zoro? Not a lot. How much do we know about we have like Boa Hancock. We know a lot about Boa Hancock. So it is kind of nice because this is an anime trope. Ça va bien? Bonjour.
Oui, ça va bien?
Good. C'est beau, hein?
Oui.
Good. So you know, like a super important because we're respecting. So far, we've been respecting a lot my neighbor. We're respecting a lot the zombie trope, not so much the anime tropes. This is kind of cool. So we see more of her. No Hopas. So she was the daughter of a very serious businessman. It's like, yo, I'll teach you the way to go, and I'll teach you the way to go, and if you listen to me, you'll be very successful. Now the cool thing with this is the guy's abusive, and the father was abusive. So it's kind of the same thing. And then she recognized that the father's an asshole. She also recognized that the boss is an asshole, right? And even then, we see her having this puppy, right? And then he killed the puppy. And she's following him, and she's like, I'm not gonna survive. Now, there's a huge meditation. It's like, Tendo, I'm hard with you, the boss. He's like, believe in me. And then he says, I don't want you to die. I can protect you here. Don't think about it. You just have to work for me. I'll keep you safe. I'll treat you like a normal person. I'll just do you friends. And you'll survive. Which is full of shit. And then, Tendo, he started to believe in him. Yeah, I'm just saying, employees, I really survive out there. I can't really survive. Which is actually pretty bad. So yeah, manipulation. We're seeing more of Shibuya, and it's kind of funny because the girl didn't join them yet. She didn't join them. This is actually a really cool thing. So they go on a supply run, right? And then a zombie goes into the truck. So when they're gonna come back to the camp, a zombie will be in the truck, which possibly will put the whole entire camp in danger. So the girl, she didn't decide to join yet. She goes back to the earth and she finds this in the bed. And she's like, this is a good idea. And she adds some of this on her own. So this is actually really fucking cool. Now, Tendo is in there and she saves him. She's like, yo, you're a dumbass if you follow him. You're a dumbass because people that are abusive are always abusive. Now, but the cool thing is she talks about this the whole entire time, right? And the whole entire time, it's kind of crazy. Kind of super fucking crazy because everybody realized how much of an asshole he is. So then, what happened is she gives him a list. And she's like, yo, you can either spend your life safely behind no walls, I can do this. And she gave a list. Now, the cool thing is they leave, and then we have the zombie outbreak, which transformed everybody, and his whole camp was there. His whole camp is fucked up. Now you have a choice: do you save the Afro boss, or you let him die? Right? I would have saved him. They saved him, which is kind of cool because they saved a lot of people. Now their truck stops are done, and the crew leave, and it's kind of cool because you're seeing that he chose freedom at the end, right? So why is that important? We're gonna stop here because it's getting hot, and this is overheating. Sushi in Offspring, episode number 8. So we're more than half already. We'll finish it today. Hell yeah. Is Akira got kind of pushed into the survival thing, the zombie thing. He didn't really choose freedom. It's like, okay, well, this is my chance at freedom. And then when put in a situation where he has to choose, he chose the wrong thing. And then in the end, he chose the right thing. So this is actually quite cool. Anyway, great show. We'll keep going on until we're finished. Sadly, we're almost done. So yeah. Love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Okay.